In this video, I'm going to show how to make a table using stacks. First, I'm going to create a free box. This just gives us a working space where we can position things freely inside of it. I'm going to remove the background from it. And inside of this, I'm going to first paste the reference table that we want to recreate. So this reference table is from Amazon, and this is roughly what I want the final result to look like. So right under it, I'm going to start adding text, just freely positioned in this free box. So this is the first row. Now I'm going to wrap these things into a horizontal stack with pressing H and then drawing a box around it. And this will arrange things horizontally. This is my row. It looks nothing like the row above, but we'll see how we can massage it to look closer. Now I'm going to turn this row into a reusable component called row. And now I'm just going to duplicate this a few times. So I have a few rows. Okay, so now I have my rows, and they all say the same thing. Let's say I want to customize the text across them. So I'm going to double click into any one of these components. I'm going to select this text, and I'm going to right click it and say convert it to a slot. And that lets me edit it from outside. Same thing with this text on the right. So these are the two columns of this row. So now I can start editing the text here. That's price, and also the last row is view save 7360. Okay, great. So of course we still have a lot of work to do to actually make them look like the rows above. The first thing that I want to make happen is to make sure that the left text items are all the same width, and the right text items are also the same width. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to double click into one of these components, and actually instead of just continually double clicking into it, I'm going to right click this component and say edit in a new artboard. So this will pop it out on the right, but I actually want to place it above, so it's a little easier for me to get to. And this way I can just directly start manipulating inside of the component this way. Great. Now, like I mentioned, what I want is for this first text item to be inside of a fixed width container. So I'm going to, so this is the structure of this component. I'm going to wrap this first text item in a stack. It doesn't really matter whether it's horizontal or vertical, just some kind of box. And I'm going to size it to be 100 pixels. Let's say I always want the left column to be 100 pixels. I'm going to make this whole thing a little bit larger as well. Like so. And I'm going to make the thing on the right also wrapped in a box so that I can control its size explicitly as well. Let's say I want it to be 200 for now. And everything is, of course, still just evenly distributed in the stack. Let's say I want to snap everything to the left. And so now everything is on the left. Now this first column, I want everything to be right aligned. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this container, and I'm just going to say right align everything, like so. Okay, now I also want to introduce some gap in between the items in this horizontal stack. So I'm going to just introduce some column gap here, like so. And yeah, it's starting to look a little bit closer. Now this this row on the right here, let's say that I want it to be a little bit wider. Let's say something around this wide. Let's say I also want to remove the size actually from the outermost, the root element. I just want the root element to be whatever is the sum of the sizes of its children, of its two children here. So I'm just gonna double click this right edge to make it auto size. It'll now hug its content. Okay. Last thing I want to do is also do the same thing with the height of this whole row, because I just want it to be sized to whatever is the content. All right, that is pretty much it, and I'm going to remove this background because I don't really need to see it like that all the time. And back in here, I have these three rows. I can drag a vertical stack around them to make sure they're arranged together in one unit as well. I'm going to auto size it vertically and horizontally as well. And I'm going to remove the background from that as well. And maybe I'll introduce a little bit of gap in between things like so. Great. And so that's a lot closer to the table from above. Now from here, you can actually just start customizing the contents as you see fit. So for instance, this price down here, maybe I want to change its text color so that it is this kind of dark red. And with this, I actually have a few elements sitting in a row side by side. So first of all, I'm going to wrap this in a horizontal stack. And then inside of this horizontal stack, this is the first item, which is the price. And I'm going to duplicate this. So this is the second part, which is and free shipping. This will be bold. I'm going to duplicate that. Details and free returns. My component is not wide enough, so I'm going to make it a little bit larger, like so. Oh, sorry. Actually, didn't mean to resize the whole row. Of course, we had each of the columns be explicitly sized, so I'm going to resize the second column like this. Now, from here, I'm going to select this guy, add that color, and also change its size to be a little bit larger, like so. And actually, I'm going to align everything on the baseline instead of having stretch like that. And this I'm going to set to be bold. And so on and so forth. And you can customize, the color and the strikeout and all this stuff as you see fit. So that is essentially how you can mimic this very simple table using stacks, and essentially exercise complete control over exactly what you want things to look like.